Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared. It is Picks Friday, our 5 selections for our Pick'em contest. We are still in the green. We're still positive after several rough weeks. Donnell and I have once again put our heads together, found our spots, and we've come to our 5 favorite picks of the week. Before we get into those picks, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude, I know what's going on, man.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? Back at it again with another Friday, man. We made progress last week. Not the great progress that we wanted, but we made progress. 2-3. Let's just build off that, bro. Let's just try to build off. Let's get a winning week here. Like you said, we're still green. It's hard to believe we're still in the fucking green after 3 losing weeks the way we fucking had it. But hey, man, that just speaks to our early success and what we're really actually about. These 3 weeks have been flukes. Come on, man. Let's get back on the board, man. Let's get back on the winning side of this week.
We have 3 dogs, 2 favorites. And I'll tell you guys just right now, we were this close to putting the Jets in, but we did not want to give you guys more anxiety. We know last week was rough. We needed a field goal for about 2.5 quarters, and we didn't even come close. So with that being said, we've got 5 picks. Let's get right into the picks.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Leading us off, we've got the rookie Bryce Young traveling to New Orleans to face on Derek Carr, who just got verified that he's starting, and the Saints. The Panthers are 5.5 points on the road as dogs. There's a big trend with the Saints, and that trend is they cannot score touchdowns. They can't get the ball into the end zone. They will get down there and kick 10 field goals a game. For some reason, this team just struggles to get the ball into the red zone or the end zone, I should say. And you saw that come into effect last week. They played the Lions. The Lions got off to a hot start. The Saints went down there and stalled a few drives out. They couldn't get into the end zone. And that just shows they're one of the worst red zone efficiency teams in the NFL. And the Lions were probably a good spot that you want if you wanted to see some positive, improvement. In that aspect, the Lions were the perfect team to get right against. If they can't get into the end zone against the Lions, I know the Panthers defense isn't, as good as the Lions, but they're statistically similar. They have a decent red zone efficiency on defense. The reason why they always have teams in their red zone is because their offense has been struggling. But this Saints defense, you saw they were very fluky last week. So there's a lot of holes in this defense with Marshawn Lattimore now out there. They're not getting pressure on the quarterback. Jared Goff, not many pressures last week. So, Donnell and I are all over the Panthers plus 5.5. What'd I miss?
Well, the only thing you probably missed was Derek Carr getting life insurance, because that motherfucker's got hit. Got head, shoulders, knees, and toes all fucked up right now, man. Not gonna lie to you. Pair that with a decent pass rush for Carolina and a Carolina defense that still is stingy. You best believe you got to side with Carolina. Come on, man. It's always been fade the Saints, right?
Yeah, let's go Bryce Young. We're giving him a second shot after he stabbed us in the heart last few weeks. Dino, why don't you go and tell the viewer or the listeners what our second pick is?
The second pick, my ladies and gents, is the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Baltimore plus 7.5. And what are we talking about here? Now, this is going to be a very, very rough game as far as the weather's concerned. So that is always going to favor the big dog in this situation. I do like the fact that Kyron Williams is back. He has been a dog ever since coming back, and it's opened up that offense completely. Puka Nacua continues to take slants to the freaking house. Cooper Kupp is still getting his way back, but this is his 3rd week back. I expect to see some improvement for Cooper Kupp. And like you said, with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, no matter what the weather is, I can trust him slinging the ball, keeping the game relatively close. I do like this Baltimore Ravens team. Like I said, favorites to win the division. My favorite to win the AFC. But they win here, but I don't see them covering 7 against the Rams here at home with terrible weather.
Yeah, if you don't like a side in this game, I highly recommend taking a look at the under. It's sitting around 40, 41, depending on which book you use. I think it's a little too high. I think it's going to be a low-scoring dogfight. Both of these teams are sneakily good on defense in the red zone. So I would definitely take a look. I mean, I think the Ravens are third in red zone efficiency, and the Rams are 14th. So, these two teams, they don't let up a lot of touchdowns, and the weather's going to be bad. These teams are pretty good against the rush. You've got to figure we still have Aaron Donald that plays in Los Angeles.
Facts.
So, if the Ravens are running the ball a lot, the Rams are running the ball a lot. I see a lot of punts, a lot of field goals from distance. Give us the Rams in the spot. We're going to take the dog at the points. Moving on to our third pick of the week, we have Justin Fields and the Bears at +3.5 at home against Detroit. We just kind of hit on this 2 games ago with the Lions defense, and this is another game. It's going to be it's like a tsunami out there. If you guys remember, I think it was last year, the Niners went to Chicago and Justin Fields, in that ridiculous wind and rain, ran. And I believe that was the game that Trey Lance might have got hurt. I can't remember. I just know Trey Lance looked bad, but that was because Justin Fields was just shining. He was a, firecracker. He was doing whatever he wanted. It was hike the ball and see where I can go. So instead of taking the pocket quarterback who is, they're reliant on big plays downfields to Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know we have a double-headed monster in the back with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, but realistically, this Bears defense has sneakily gotten better, obviously, with the addition of Montez Sweat. They're not letting up as many yards per play or yards per carry. They're sneakily going down. I feel like if they can focus on stopping the run for the Lions, then the Bears will be in a pretty good spot. Justin Fields is going to get his yardage. I mean, he is going to take off. I would not be surprised if he ran the ball 12, 13, 14 times this game. He's going to run a lot. He might run just as much as whoever is in the backfield with him. I like the Bears in the spot, plus the points at home. Dino, how do we not love this?
Yo, no, trust me, this is one of my favorite picks of the week. Come on, man. You take the fish at the fishbowl and Jared Goff. We bang on that every single time. And on top of that, like I said, Chicago is at home against a very, very stingy and ruckus defense. And to be honest with you, we talk about Justin Fields. How about DJ Moore in the quick screen game? I feel like it's going to be a big part of this game, getting the ball out quick, screens, and just letting DJ Moore work. And I feel like it really works in the Bears' favor when they have that type game plan. I expect that game plan going into this week. So honestly, DJ Moore props, play him. I know I'll probably be playing him. And you give me the hook at 3.5 for the Bears at home against Jared Goff, who's, like I said, is you taking fish at the fishbowl? Come on, what are we talking about? +3.5.
Love it. Our fourth pick of the week is one that you might be shocked that I'm on this just after the heartbreak they've caused me last week, and that is the 49ers -10.5 versus Seattle. If you guys listened to our preview show the other day, you heard that we might have been on Seattle. The number seemed a little bit too high. The number was kind of steaming down. Well, there's news that Geno Smith is just kind of banged up. I think they signed Sean Mannion, whatever, to their practice squad. So that kind of looks sketchy to me. I will say that this number has shot back up on the standard book. Obviously, there's our contest lines, but it's back up to 13.5 in a lot of places. So, yeah, a lot of money came in early on the Seahawks. The Niners are getting bet back up. So we have the value in the number as it stands. There's just something about this Niners team. They're just clicking on all cylinders. And historically, Kyle Shanahan has owned Pete Carroll against the spread and straight up. So this has just been a good spot for the Niners against the Seattle Seahawks team in this division. The Niners have just been notorious for covering the spread. So we're getting value on the number. This isn't necessarily my favorite pick of the week, but this just seems like a good spot for the Niners. And considering that the line has shot all the way back up to 13, we're getting this as a pretty good value pick. I like the Niners at -10.5. What else, Dino?
Oh, no, I mean, so you hit it right on the nail. And like you said, man, usually, like I said, we kind of like to stay away from big spreads, especially in a division game like this. This usually is like a rough, like a tough and gritty game. Like you said, with Geno Smith banged up and the way that 49ers defense is flying, watch out. That's not going to be pretty. I believe I'm pretty sure Kenneth Walker is still out or at least questionable.
He's questionable.
Yeah, he's
banged up.
So in other words, banged up. So my starting running back's banged up. My quarterback's banged up. And to be honest with you, that Seattle defense really isn't great as it is either. So you're telling me you're going to give me 10.5 points, Brock Purdy, surging offense, surging defense, banged up offense, and a not too good Seattle defense? Come on now.
Yeah, dude. This just seems like a good spot.
Yeah.
And like you said, dude, banged up players against a Niners defense, they're just
fresh.
they're cruising. So this is a good spot. We'll go with the historic numbers. We'll take the Niners at a value. Give us the San Francisco 49ers minus 10.5. Dino, why don't you wrap it up with our 5th pick of the week?
I'm going to wrap it up, put a bow on it, because it's about that Christmas time, too. So we want to give you a nice little gift here. We got the Chiefs minus 2.5 at home against the Buffalo Bills. And I mean, what are we talking about here? Like I said, we banged on it last week. We love Patrick Mahomes and as a short favorite at home, man. And like I said, with the crowd in the background backing you up, that's one of the toughest places to play at Giha Stadium, however you pronounce it. We understand that Pacheco's is banged up and he probably won't play. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not a joke either. He's going to be utilized in the passing game as well, just like they had to use Pacheco. The middle of the field will be wide open, considering the fact that this Bills defense have went through so much injuries and turmoil throughout the whole year. I really like like I said, I'm heavy on Kelsey. Shit, even probably Noah Gray and Justin Watson here. You still got Rashee Rice, who honestly didn't have a bad game against the Packers last week. Just couldn't get in the end zone. I mean, that sucker was just close to getting the end zone and win me money. But that's besides the point. At the end of the day, I still believe these Chiefs offense can move down the field, get yards. Chiefs don't really use back-to-back, as we already know. It's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, short home favorite. You got to like it. You got to love it, man. You got to love it.
Yeah, I think when Donnell and I were, because it was between the Chiefs and the Jets for our last pick. Right. We went with the Chiefs because we took a realization that the Chiefs are coming off a loss. I think Patrick Mahomes is like 6-0 after a loss.
Yeah.
We know it's by 3, but when is this Chiefs team, they usually, whoever has the ball last usually wins. But we came to the senses that, dude, this Bills defense kind of stinks. They can't stop shit. They are always in a shootout. I mean, we're talking about a team that lost to the New England Patriots. Josh Allen, he's probably going to turn the ball over. And we know the Chiefs defense has kind of had their realization the last few weeks. They kind of haven't been as dominant. But to be honest, I can see a big defensive front for the Chiefs. I think they might cause 2 turnovers for Josh Allen. I think he's going to force passes down the field. And Dino hit it right on the head. This Bills team is banged up. Matt Milano out for the season. Tre'Davious White out for the season. And we know Josh Allen, even when he plays his best game as he did versus the Eagles, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles continue to drive downfield and score touchdowns. They can't keep anybody out of the end zone. That's another team that struggles in the red zone. So give us the Chiefs in a bounce back. Minus 2.5, but obviously you guys can get them at -1 or -1.5 on the book right now. Regardless, I have the Chiefs by 4. Give us the Chiefs at home in a bounce back situation. Here we are. Obviously not in our Survivor, not alive in Survivor, I should say. But this is just a tough week, and this is probably one of the weeks where I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know. I don't know who you would take, and I know that sucks, but I think the safest one is probably the Packers. If you're still in Survivor up to this point, the Packers are the play this week. Packers probably should have not been used by anybody thus far. So everybody who is in Survivor most likely has the Packers, but I usually give you guys 1, 2, maybe a third option. I don't even have a second option. If I'm still alive in Survivor, obviously it's getting cut down. It's the Packers. So you guys still want to know our Survivor pick of the week. Obviously, unfortunately, Josh Dobbs ruined that pride for us a few weeks ago. But nevertheless, the Packers are our Survivor pick of the week. Dino, that's been our 5 picks. Do you have anything else you want to say to the listeners before we get out of here?
Oh, yeah. No, actually, I got a quick question for you real quick. Did you pick the Raiders at all for the Survivor 2 as well?
I have not picked the Raiders.
You have not picked the Raiders? Oof. Like I said, well, they are underdog this week too, so I can see why. So yeah, kind of stay off. But I actually personally like the Raiders winning that game. But like I said, this is Survivor. Don't fuck around too much. Like I said, fade the Giants, right? Fade the Giants on that. But other than that, no, like I said, guys, same messages every week. Bet responsibly, bet safe. Don't go overboard. Don't be a knucklehead. Follow us at Shred the Spread. Like you said, guys, we're going to try to put more content out on social media throughout each and every week. So please follow us. We need them. Start hitting that subscribe button. And look, hey, listen up, man. It's getting to that Christmas time, that season of giving. Hey, man, go ahead and make this extra cash this week. Trust me, me and Jared both need it, especially after last week.
Yeah, last week's have been rough, but we're going to bounce back. He said it best. Follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_. You can also follow us on TikTok at @ShredTheSpread. Dino and I are planning to go to a video version of the podcast somewhere around Christmas time, so be on the lookout for that. We will also do an announcement on the podcast as well as on our social media pages. But this has been our week 5 best bets. Once again, it is the Panthers plus 5.5, the Rams plus 7.5, Bears plus 3.5, Niners minus 10.5, and Chiefs minus 2.5. For the Shred the Spread podcast, I'm your host, Jared. He's Donnell. And for our awesome producer, Tyler, this has been our week 14 best bets for our season-long contest. Until next week, on our next preview show, we'll see you.
Peace.